Hello and welcome to Season 5, Episode 7 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we've got a home game against Notts County in League 2. It's the end of February, and yeah, it's not been the best 6 weeks I've had in this save. It started off in the last live com episode with the 1-1 draw away to Mansfield. Wasn't a particularly good game, and it didn't really get much better from there. We played against Stevenage, who, I mean, they are a promotion contender with us. Well, where we were at the time. We went 2-0 up through 2 goals from Johnson Clark-Harris. All looked good, but then we just let them back into the game. They got one back on the hour mark, got the other one back right on full time. And yeah, it didn't really turn out the way we would have liked it to. And then this happened, and this is a disaster because this really has sort of derailed the tactic that we had been using quite successfully. Owen Garvin, he's out for 4 to 5 months, so basically out for the rest of the season. He allows us to move around between the two different versions of the 4-2-3-1 that we've been playing, the home system and the away system, because he can play just as comfortably in central midfield or as defensive midfield player, and he can also play in the hole behind the striker as well. So lots of versatility in midfield, and it's been very, very important to how we've been playing. Without him, the tactic doesn't really work so well. It did okay that day. We were at home to Northampton. We beat them 2-0. Goals from Clark-Harris and Stacey, the two lone men. Where would we be without those two players? So good result in that game. And then this happened. Another job interview. This one, Bradford in League 1. 9th in League 1 as well. So high flying in League 1 with the possibility to push on into the playoffs. So obviously went along, best behaviour. And as per usual, episode won't end until I know whether or not I got the job. Next game, and I'm convinced the players are getting distracted by all these job interviews I'm having. I imagine that's a thing, and I should probably start declining interviews if I don't want the bad run of results that seems to come every time I get offered an interview. Or it could just be that without Owen Garvin, this system doesn't really work. But it was 1-1 at home to Doncaster. They had a player sent off. Yeah, it was a 92nd minute, so it makes no difference. But the only goal we scored was an own goal, and we just didn't look very good in that game. We weren't controlling possession, we weren't shooting on target again, and it just wasn't a particularly good match. And then we went away to Luton, and Luton are right down near the bottom of League 2, and they absolutely stuffed us. We lost 3-0, did a more defensive version of the system, does not work at all without Owen Garvin in the side. Adam Chapman came in to play alongside Marlon Pack as the holding midfield players, and it just didn't work at all. That system, that doesn't exist anymore until Garvin is fit. Bradford didn't give me the job, and they decided to give it to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. We shall continue. The transfer window roundup for the end of January, as usual. I think this has been every transfer window of an Exeter manager. We've spent more money than everyone else. For once, it was just on the one player, the $325,000 we spent on new goalkeeper Connor Ripley. So I think it's money well spent, but the expectation has got to be that we should be the best team in League 2 by now, all the money we've been spending. Also involved in one of the other big moves, which is Adam Drury moving on to Bolton from us after coming on a free transfer in the summer and barely playing for us. And that's the transfer window roundup for England as a whole. Newcastle spending the most money, Sunderland signing the most players, and yeah, some players who I've not heard of transferring. Martin Odegaard, I've heard of him. He's that young Norwegian lad, isn't he? Don't know who the other two are, though. The board are satisfied with my management again. They're no longer pleased. And in the next game, we went away to Dagenham and Redbridge. We went back to playing we didn't go back to it at all. We played the normal 4-2-3-1 home system because the away system doesn't work without Garvin. It seemed to work pretty well. The only problem is we weren't very tight at the back at all. Yes, we had 25 shots, 12 of them were on target. We scored 3 goals, but we conceded 2 goals. We didn't really control possession. It doesn't work the same way away from home as it does at home. Good to see Keshi Anderson turning out for Dagenham and Redbridge, though. Luckily, he didn't score against us this time. You may remember him from, was he at York? I think he was at York with me. And then we lost at home to Bristol Rovers, another team who we shouldn't be losing at home to, and we just didn't play well at all. And Daniel Trickett-Smith went off injured in that match. Again, not ideal. And then Huddersfield offered me a job. A job interview, sorry. Huddersfield are in the Championship, and they're not even in the relegation zone. These interviews are getting better and better. It's about time someone gave me one of these jobs. So obviously, again, went along, best behaviour, as usual. And the form gets even worse because of it. I've got to start turning down interviews. We lost 4-1 at home to Exeter. It was just a disaster. And I guess the Huddersfield board were at the match because pretty much straight away afterwards they decided they didn't want me. And Nigel Adkins went to Huddersfield. And this game, we switched up to a 4-4-2. I haven't used 4-4-2 for ages. But it was very, very similar to the 4-4-2 I used in my title-winning season at Boston. And I'm going to use it again today so you can see how it works. Very much counter-attacking, away from home, sort of nasty lower league football. We were playing quite direct. There was nothing exciting about it, but we didn't ever look like conceding, and we looked quite clinical going forward. So it worked well. That's a problem. Remy Street's now out for 5 to 6 weeks. That's several key injuries we're picking up now. We'd gone so long without having any of our top players being injured, and they're all starting to fall off as the form is starting to dip as well. So it's not even the form is dipping because these players are getting injured. The form's already dipping, and now we're losing key players, which is not good at all. On the positive side, there's only 11 games of the season left, and we're still in a playoff position, and we're still only 6 points away from automatic promotion. So it's still all to play for. We just I need to stop accepting job interviews. I might have to set up a personal rule now. We're going to be moving into March. I'm not accepting any interviews now until the summer. I still haven't been offered a new job at Exeter, so my contract with Exeter is up in a few months' time. So I guess I'm leaving Exeter either way. But I'd quite like to get them promoted before I go. So no more job interviews unless it's a really, really good job. So this is the team and the system that we're going to be using today. Anyone who was following in seasons 1 and 2 when I was at Boston will recognise this shape. It is pretty much the old Boston system. I've made a couple of tweaks to it, but it's still pretty much along the lines of we have one attacking winger on one side, a wide midfielder who tucks in on the other side, and a fullback who pushes on to overlap him. In the shape of Ben Tilney. Cameron Gale's going to be a little bit more defensive. The Peg is coming in to replace Remy Street, so he gets his place back in the side alongside George Ray. And then central midfield, we've got Marlon Pack and Daniel Trickett-Smith. In the old 4-4-2 that I used, this would have been an advanced playmaker. I just think that might be a little bit too attacking. It might be something that I would switch to. Trickett-Smith would certainly prefer to play that way, and it was. In fact, you know what? Actually, no, the reason I didn't is because Marlon Pack's a deep line playmaker. I didn't want two playmakers in midfield. What can I switch you to, Marlon? Let's make you a ball-winning midfielder on defend, and we're going to make Trickett-Smith an advanced playmaker on attack. We're going to almost be diamonding it up, and Foley will come and tuck in alongside him. That could be a disaster. But when we used to do this at Boston, Kyle Dixon, playing as that advanced playmaker, always played well. And Trickett-Smith is a very good player, so potentially it allows him and Stacey to link up with a Beaker and Clark Harris up front. That little change there, that could prove to be a disaster. But we're at home, let's be a bit more attacking. I can always switch him back to a box-to-box midfielder away from home. So let's get into this match. We're at home to Notts County. Notts County are only 2 places below us in the league, only 2 points below us in the league as well. So if we lose today, we fall out of the playoffs, they take our place. And it all starts to look a little bit messy. So let's get into this match. And hopefully we'll just play nice lower league, direct football, and thump them 4-0. And the promotion pushes on then. So, God, give him a red card. A red card after 20 seconds would be lovely. Oh, he's done it as well. Oh, fantastic. I don't know if that's good or bad. The last time we played against a team who got a player sent off in the first minute, it was just a boring 0-0. Right, they've gone to a 4-1-3-1. I don't really know what tweaks we should be making. Let's see how we get on. We'll leave things as they are. My instinct is to push Trickett-Smith further forward, even further forward than he already is, and potentially just play with a midfield. I don't know. Let's not get too silly too soon. They're only really losing a player up front, I guess. We don't want to give them back control of the midfield just because they've had a player sent off. But at the same time, we don't seem to be creating anything at all. And we're half an hour in, and nothing is happening. I think what I might do, because we're only playing against 10 men, is go back to this system. I think we've got the players. Yeah, we'll do that. It's a system we're all used to. It allows us to continue to sort of match up with their midfield, but it's just a little bit more attacking. Pushes Trickett-Smith further forward, where he can really be a nuisance. And we'll go and do that. and let's just be a little bit more attacking. Go back to playing good football. Hopefully, playing against 10 men doing it. It might just be the way to get us back into playing well in this system. Or it could just be a boring 0-0, because yet again, I don't know how to beat 10 men. And it's going in. We've had 4 shots. We're not even controlling possession. This is pitiful. We're playing against 10 men for the whole first half. That's just poor. Right, come on, lads. We need to create something. We've got a good team. A lot of good players for this level. This group of players should be capable of beating this Notts County 10 men. And I just don't understand why I can't seem to form this excellent group of players into a good team. Foley gets it to the peg, who finds Trickett Smith. Stacey now in loads of space, and he hits the post. And that really should have been a goal. Jack Stacey scored more difficult chances than that for us this season. That was a poor miss. It's not gone down as a clear-cut chance, but as far as I'm concerned, give a player like that much space in the box. That was a clear-cut chance. Oh, Ripley, what is he doing there? It sort of rebounded off him onto the post. I'm not convinced by Connor Ripley yet. We've spent all that money on him, but he doesn't seem to be any kind of improvement over Christy Pym. I don't care that he's been playing in League One for the last however many years. He just doesn't. It doesn't seem to have been the improvement that we were looking for. And him coming in does coincide with the start of our poor form. I'm not blaming him, but I do like a scapegoat. Right, what can we do? Jack Stacey's not having a good game, so Lee Novak can come on. That's an easy enough substitution. Jonathan Abika's also not having a good game. Well, Paul Taylor can come on for him. 2 fairly straightforward substitutions, very attacking changes. We've basically got 3 strikers on the pitch now. We've got to score a goal. Do I go attacking? Let's go attacking. We need to win this game. We can't be affording to draw games like this. It's just getting silly if we can't beat 10 men. They've been down to 10 men for the full 90 minutes. And I don't know, we just don't seem to have any ideas. We've had 3 shots on target in the whole match. They're playing 1 man up front. They've had more shots than we have. Or more shots on target anyway. Right, Sam Foley, you can come off for Jack Rolls. I mean, it's not exactly a game-changing substitution. Unless he comes on and scores a goal, of course. In which case, I'm a genius. Right, come on, Paul Taylor, do something. Taylor finds Clark Harris, who loses the ball. Brilliant. And now their 1 man is terrorising the 6 defenders we've got there. And they're somehow keeping the ball. I don't understand what's happening. We need to win the ball back. Marlon Pack does. Finds Lee Novak, who plays through Johnson Clark Harris, who just miscontrols it and loses the ball. But Pack's got it back. It's with Trickett Smith, who finds Taylor. Taylor forces a save out the goalkeeper, and we finally had a clear-cut chance. Taylor finds the peg from the corner, and now Trickett Smith. Again, there's been a couple of times we could have scored now. We are playing a little bit better, but it's all coming a little bit too late. And, oh dear. See, the goalkeeper hasn't convinced me again there. Novak finds Clark Harris, who plays a great ball across to Paul Taylor, who just basically falls over, I think is what happened there. And it's going to be a 0-0. I called it 20 seconds into the match. We've played against 10 men for 90 minutes, and we're not going to score a goal against them. We're supposed to be a nice, free-flowing, attacking football team now. I don't understand what's happened. Right, Lee Novak's got the ball. Trickett Smith, we've got 10 seconds left. And Johnson Clark Harris loses the ball. Ben Tilney's made it to the ball there, though. Paul Taylor now. And no, it doesn't happen. It's 0-0. I don't want to say the promotion push is off for another season. But if we can't beat 10 men Notts County, even if we make it into the playoffs, we can't possibly be expected to do anything in them. We'll have a quick look at the league table once it eventually ticks over to it. It's taking so long to process because the game can't believe what's just happened, which I can understand that. So let's have a look at the league table. Unbelievably, we're still in 7th place, and that's just because the teams behind us are being rubbish. We're 2 points. We're 2 points into the playoffs now rather than 1, and we're still only 6 points behind 3rd place. No one wants to get promoted this season, it seems. So, we might make it up by default somehow. But that's your lot for today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all the future episodes. Thanks very much for watching.